welcome to Travel Talk Live. I know you're probably expecting Vanessa McGovern, but she is out of the office right now and traveling and probably on her way to the airport right now. So I'm Caroline Hollar, marketing associate here at Gifted Travel Network. So I'm going to be taking over for Vanessa today. So I want to give a quick welcome to everyone who's joining us right now, our fellow GTN members, or anyone who just wants to be inspired to go out and travel. So thanks for joining in on our next episode of Travel Talk Live. So I want to introduce our guest today. We are so excited to be speaking with Dale Woods, who is the Director of Business Development in the Northeast region for Ponant Cruises. So we're excited to talk to him about what he does and with Ponant and all that they offer there. So we're excited to talk to him. So welcome, Dale. How are you?
Carolyn, thank you so much for the introduction. I'm doing really well here in New York City, headquarters for USA Ponant, that is. And I'm excited to be here with the Gifted Travel Network to really present Antarctica, one of my favorite places, believe it or not.
Right. No, that's great. So, so we're going to be focusing a lot on Antarctica, and I know that's some place that I've never been, and probably a lot of people haven't been. So I'm excited to, learn more about Antarctica. So I guess tell me more about what you do. How many times have you been to Antarctica, and what's your favorite part about it, and what's your favorite part about working with Ponant?
Well, I'm the Director of Business Development for Ponant Expedition Cruises, based here in New York. I handle the Northeast region from Virginia up to Maine. I've been to Antarctica twice. I've been in the business travel industry for 30 years, so but with small ships for the last 12 years. So I was turned on to expedition cruising 12 years ago. So, but with Ponant for 3 years now, and I'm just really delighted to be working with a great company, a great product, and delivering on quality expeditions. So I've been to Antarctica, to the Antarctic Peninsula, but I've also been to the North Pole. I've been to the geographic North Pole, and also to Siberia, places that I never even dreamt of going to or ever even wanted to go to. But business brought me there, and as I told you leading up to this interview, I'm a changed man, so hopefully I'll be able to share that passion with you all today.
Right, no, that's great. And I guess before we get into the destination of Antarctica, just to give a more of an overview about Ponant. So it's luxury and expeditions kind of where they meet. So what are some of the most popular destinations with Ponant, and what makes it different than, another cruise line?
Well, I think we have to start with the beginning, and I won't drag it out too long, but
right.
We're almost 30 years in business, founded by the French merchant marines and out of Marseille, France, and still to this day, the founder and CEO is Jean-Emmanuel Sauvé. And what's important about that is it's the provenance, our origin, really for the love of sea, love of itinerary that has really distinguished us. We're the only French flag cruise line sailing to all 7 continents and really bridging the gap between luxury and expeditions, although we are doing traditional cruising as well. So we're on all 7 continents, including the Mediterranean, the Adriatic, Australia. We're up in the Baltics and also Iceland and Greenland. We're doing both Arctic and also Antarctica. So believe it or not, 45% of polar tourists on small ships have traveled to these regions on Ponant vessels. So many don't know us here in North America, but worldwide we're sourcing clients from all over the world. So we are a leader in polar expeditions, and in North America we've been working with the best tour operators for the last 25 years, bringing clients to Antarctica and also to the Arctic. So I hope that helps answer your question.
Right, no, it definitely does. And I just want to say again to people who are just now joining us, we're here with Dale Woods of Ponant, and he's going to be talking to us about Antarctica, what he mentioned earlier. And if you have any questions throughout the show today, just leave a comment in the Facebook Live thread, and we will get to that either as it comes or towards the end when we're going through questions. So I know since a lot of people haven't been to Antarctica, then if you have any questions, feel free to write them down or just say hello and say that you're here joining us, and then we can get to those later on. So I guess we're going to go ahead and get into the Antarctica subject. So um, first of all, the big question would be Antarctica, why? Where exactly is Antarctica? I know it's, at the end. I mean, you just see it from a map, but no one really thinks about Antarctica every day. So if you want to, I guess if you want to show.
Well, I thought I'd lead up just answering the question why without any visuals.
Okay, sure.
And I have coached friends and clients for the last 10 years. Why Antarctica? I have no desire to go there. It's too cold.
Right.
And, I say to them, really think about it. It's not that cold. Today's temperature is 27 degrees Fahrenheit. It's probably as cold as it gets in New York in January. Many think that Antarctica is extremely cold, and really it isn't. It gets warmer. We visit during the summer months, the austral summer months, which is between November and also February. So we're opposite. During the southern hemisphere, it's the southernmost continent. It represents departure from anywhere else in the world. There's nothing else like it. And so I could go into my slides and tell you, but most people are taken aback by the fact that it might be too cold, it might be too hard adventure. And so while there are many different outfitters out there offering Antarctica, we are offering a bridge between luxury cruising and also expedition. So we're not hard adventure. We have our Zodiacs that take us ashore. We have our naturalists and our expedition team to take very good care of you. But we also have the luxury of a beautiful niche boutique hotel with great French-inspired cuisine. So I hope that answers your question in terms of why go to Antarctica. There are many reasons why Antarctica. Clients go for the birding, they go for the ice, they go for seascapes, for photography. So I'm going to try and share my screen with you, if you don't mind. And see, I'm not a techie, but I think I've gotten it. Can you see it? One moment. I'll do presenter view.
Right.
So how's that?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes,
so that's me,
good.
And that's me on a ship. And so nice to meet you all. But here is where Antarctica is. It's in the southernmost hemisphere. It's the southernmost continent. It's the fifth largest continent out of the seven. It's larger than the United States. It's double the size of Australia. But what really is important about this diagram, it shows you the Southern Ocean, and it shows you the Weddell Sea, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean. So there's a convergence, or what we call an Antarctic convergence. And this is a natural curve that continuously circles Antarctica. So it's sort of like in the Arctic with the natural tree line. This is a natural boundary. And what's important is that it really feeds the waters with great nutrients and great amount of krill. And so the biodiversity, the marine life is extremely rich here. And so the wildlife sightings, such as the whales. So we're talking about humpback whales and sperm whales and minke whales and orca whales, really rich there, but also penguins and great ice. So, it's the 60% of fresh water in the world is in Antarctica. There are only two polar ice caps, one in the Arctic and here in Antarctica. This is the driest, windiest, and coldest continent, but not too cold, as I say, because we're going here, point to the Antarctic. Well, I can point. You see where the word is Falkland Islands. Right underneath that, there's a peninsula, and that is where we're visiting from. We're visiting from Argentina over to the peninsula. So we're not going inland to the South Pole. We are visiting really the peninsula. So temperatures are moderate. And again, we're visiting during the austral summer, which would go between November and March, and that is their summertime. So in November, it's just early spring, December, January, and then February. And the temperatures start warming up, and also the daylight hours are longer. So in November, there's some nighttime hours, but then as you go into the season, daylight stretches further. So that gives you an idea where Antarctica is, and more about that convergence that's really important.
Right. Yeah. So Yeah. So if did you want to show more about the map or talk
Well,
about that?
yeah, just some maps.
Mm-hmm.
Most operators in the industry, including Ponant, offer two basic itineraries. Just for your information, one is
Okay.
the emblematic Antarctic, is what we call it, or the classic Antarctica Peninsula. So where you would fly into Buenos Aires, we would then include a flight in our program down to Ushuaia, where we will embark, and then we will travel over to the peninsula. So that's the Antarctic Peninsula, and we will cross the Drake Passage, which many know can be quite turbulent. Even the most seasoned sea captains fear this passage because of the convergence, as I've explained, the three oceans coming together. It
Right.
takes about 2 days to cross over from Ushuaia across the Drake Passage to the South Shetland Islands, the subantarctic islands, and then the actual peninsula. So diagrammed here will just kind of show you Ushuaia over to
Mm-hmm.
Paulet Island, Deception Island, and back. And then this will kind of delineate further some of the different islands that we will visit: Deception Island, Culverville, Paradise Bay, Adelie. And we make Gerlache Strait is wonderful with the Iceberg Alley. But the other itinerary, so that would be the classic Antarctic Peninsula, but then there's the second basic itinerary that we offer, which is the Great Austral Loop, which would include the Falkland Islands, South
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, and then the peninsula. And these are longer trips. So
Okay.
where the classic Antarctica is about 10 days, the South Georgia, Antarctic Peninsula, and Falklands would be 15 days.
Okay.
So I just want to give you a basic primer on two staples in terms of itineraries.
Okay. Okay, that's great. And I guess we can go ahead and move on to the next slides that you have about what.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it speaks to why people go to
Right.
Antarctica. And naturally, the question is, will I see penguins? And you will indeed see
Mm-hmm.
penguins during the period of time that we're there. During the winter months, which is opposite our winter, so in the austral winter, the penguins are out on the sea ice. But then in November, the males start coming ashore to build their nest and get ready for mating, breeding with the female penguins that will soon follow. So in November and December, it's really great to see these most aggressive penguins building their nests with little rocks, little stones. Stone by stone, they're building their nests, and they're actually even stealing from each other. So it's really comical to watch. But certainly, Antarctica is where the penguins are, and you see Adelie penguins here hauled out on great looking sea ice. But we also go to South Georgia, where the king penguins are awaiting our ship, and you'll see in the background La Boreale. But the king penguins are the second largest species after the emperor penguin. So many know of Antarctica through Happy Feet, the cartoon or movie, the animated feature,
Okay.
but also many know Antarctica through March of the Penguins, which would be the emperor penguins, the largest. And they're in very specific rookeries or communities of penguins, which we will not see. They're out on ice, multi-year ice, and hauled out in specific rookeries. But we will see the king penguin, and we'll see them on South Georgia, in Salisbury Plain, and here you'll see their picture. But we don't get too close to the penguins. We adhere to the IATO rulings. Ponant is a member of IATO, which is International Antarctic Association of Tour Operators, where we abide by rules and regulations set forth by the member organization. And so we have very strict parameters that we set forth and discuss with our passengers, with our guests. And one rule is you do not approach the wildlife. We do not put them into distress. And so you'll see an excellent photo here of two of our guests observing, and they will remain stable while the chinstrap, in this case, walks past them. But multiple species of penguins for sure on our itineraries. We'll be seeing the upper left corner would be the Adelie. We have the rockhopper in the middle on the top, but the gentoo with the orange beak and orange feet. I call these the gentle penguins. They're the largest of the three main species that we'll see: gentoo, the Adelie, and then the chinstrap. But here we go again. On the lower right would be the king penguins, and then the macaroni penguins. and truly awe-inspiring. So clients come to Antarctica for penguins, they come for ice, they come for personal reasons, soul searching, but also to really get inspired. And here you'll see in South Georgia, 250,000 pairs, that's 500,000 of mating king penguins. So look at how inspiring that is.
Yes.
Did you want me to continue with slides, or did you want me to stop sharing?
We can go back to just this your face and then we can go back to the slides if we need to. But that was great just to see the penguins. I know you can see them in a picture, you can see them in a zoo, but I'm sure nothing compares to, in their natural habitat. Which
They're
is
human-like. They're standing on 2 feet. They're walking, and people are just so amazed by the multitudes, but also the behavior, and how they build their community, or what we call rookeries. And there's a different cycle, and this speaks to why people go to Antarctica and when they go to Antarctica. So I don't know if that's one of your questions as to when is the best time, but if you want me, I could elaborate.
No, sure.
So, as I mentioned, during the austral summer, between November and March, clients will want to come, but they want to know which month is the best month. And I say every month is the best month. It depends on what you're looking to experience. November really is great because it's early season. Many of the ships have not come ashore yet, so the ice is pristine and untouched by our polar tourism. But also the penguins have yet to arrive. They're just starting to arrive. So the snow is pristine white, the ice is beautifully blue, and I say Ireland has 50 shades of green, I think. Well, Antarctica has hundreds of shades of blue, and that's thanks to the ice and pristine landscapes, seascapes, icescapes. But December really becomes, so they're coming ashore in November, the penguins, they're starting to build their nest. End of November, December, they start mating. Chicks are born, the eggs are hatched. In January, they start to molt. In other words, they lose their baby fur, and you'll find their sleek black feathers, black and white feathers. And then February would be great in terms of late season ice dissipating, but also whaling. I mean, you'll see whales throughout the season. They tend to be more abundant in the month of February. So as you can see, November, December, January, February is the season. And depending on what you're looking to get out of your experience would determine the height or the peak of the season would be December, January, late December to mid-January. So you'll see rates for most of the operators go up during that time. Demand is high.
Okay, that's great. I guess I had just another question about, I know you briefly talked about it, about the type of person that would visit Antarctica. If you could maybe talk more about that, like who is it? And you said people who love penguins, who want to see that, people who want to be in nature. So if you could talk more about like what the type of person is who is visiting Antarctica.
Well, yeah, the type of person, and it's really difficult because, everyone wants to know how old are your passengers, and I know you're not asking that. It really speaks to the state of mind, if you will. I say it's the Ponant state of mind, but really those that are really seeking something extraordinary, those that want to be inspired, awe-inspired as well. Those that have pretty much accomplished a lot in their life, but they're looking really for the ultimate in the travel experience. They tend to be older because they're either retired or semi-retired, and they have the time and also the resources, the financial resources in order to travel. But we're seeing younger and younger clients as well. So it speaks to the type of, or the state of mind, those that really are into health and well-being, those that are into natural science, but not necessarily so. Perhaps they're into photography. We get many solo travelers, so those that are really coming for soul searching. I mentioned to you before the interview, I was changed. I never thought I would enjoy a polar experience, but it is humbling. It's awe-inspiring when you see the cliffs and the ice and the penguins and how we're really just a speck on this earth, and we become ambassadors so that we come back and we educate others on how we should be protecting this region. So it's adventure seekers. It's those that enjoy camaraderie and adventure, but those that also want to be left alone for a while out on the ice and really do some soul searching. And really enjoy the company of like-minded individuals.
Right. No, that's a great answer, and really helps people if you feel like you're one of these people and you want to visit Antarctica, then feel free to contact us at Gift of Travel Network, and then we will reach out to Ponant and make sure that you get to experience this amazing once in a lifetime or twice in a lifetime
Yes.
experience. So,
On a profile aspect, also, we are sourcing our guests from all over the world.
mm-hmm.
So, clients from Gifted Travel Network should expect to be with global citizens, those who come from all over the world.
Right.
I did open up by saying we're the only French flag cruise line in the
Right.
world,
Mm-hmm.
but we are bilingual. We're not just French speaking. We speak
Okay.
both French and English, all the officers, all the staff, and our clients come from all over the world. You know, Antarctica is a international destination.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't governed by not one government. It's governed by the Antarctic Treaty. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's no one government. There's really no one living there. There's about 4,000 in the height of the austral summer season residing in Antarctica because of the research stations. But
Right.
during the winter season, it's only 1,000. And so it's governed by the Antarctic Treaty. And so it does attract people from all over the world. And I hope that gives you a little more
Right.
idea of who's traveling there.
Right, no, definitely. And so I guess now talk a little bit about the Ponant ship that you will be taking there. I know you said it was French influence or French cruise line. So what is the French influence on board? If you could talk a little more about that.
Sure. Well, we're French officers, and our staff and crew are sourced from Mauritius and the Philippines. We are in business 30 years. We're the only French flag. The French influence, we're quintessentially French in terms of the partnering brands and the luxury software we're working with. The fabrics are Paul Frey fabrics. Our dining experience is overseen by Alain Ducasse Consul. We're serving in 2 restaurants. We have a gastronomic restaurant and also a more casual grill upstairs for other options, all on assigned seating.
Okay.
But we also have La Satin toiletries for all guests. And our suite guests, we have our Sotis, which is a European spa product. Our spa on board, believe it or not, for a small ship, we're doing quite a lot. We have a spa, the Sotis spa with Turkish bath also. We have a full hair salon, but also a full gym. It's not just a stateroom converted into a gym. It's on the back or on the stern of the ship with panoramic views. And so we do have that as well. And I do have some images if you wanted me to show those.
Sure, we can do that and show images of the ship.
Right.
So I know you said it's a small ship. How many passengers would it be?
264 guests maximum in 132 staterooms.
Okay.
Oops. And can you see the screen?
Almost. I believe it's loading. Yes.
Presenter view. Sorry, guys. But if I may just, so those are the seals I was speaking of before, and seabirds as well. Sorry, I just didn't want to get out of, we're going just a little bit out of, so here we are.
Okay.
This will give us a better idea of our expedition hardware, and also the launch, the Zodiac launch on the back of the ship. You see that now?
Yes, I do. Everything's good. So
versus a shipside gangway, we are launching our Zodiacs from the stern by way of a staircase. So it's really easy to get in and out. The difference between expedition cruising and traditional cruising would be the fact that on expeditions you're calling in remote areas where there is no infrastructure. In other words, there's no port that you pull alongside and have tour buses that await your clients and take them off onto shore excursions. Instead, we have Zodiacs. We moor out into the water and we take our Zodiacs to shore for shore landings, not shore excursions, but shore landings, accompanied by naturalists and for commentary on what's being observed. The other difference between expedition and traditional cruising is everything's subject to change. We are really at the mercy of the gods, the weather gods, and the ice conditions. So what might be in the brochure may change slightly. So that's really flexibility is key in terms of enjoying an expedition. And so here you'll see a profile of the La Boreal, 132 staterooms on 5 decks. And 264. In Antarctica, we're accommodating no more than 199 guests because IATA rulings, remember the Association of Tour Operators of Antarctica Tour Operators, does stipulate that you cannot land more than 100 guests at a time.
Okay.
And so we bring no more than 199 to Antarctica. Mm-hmm. And so we'll do our rotations throughout the day in terms of landings by Zodiac. We are ice strengthened hull. For forward-facing sonar, we have 3D ocean floor mapping. We're the newest ships in the industry, on average only 3 years old. And so we're combining that luxury expedition hardware with luxury software, which would be elegant accommodations. You see muted colors and soft tones, minimalistic in design, butler service, but almost all staterooms have balconies. Can you imagine? No one else can say that right now. So on average, 3 years old, 95% balconies, and balconies are key in terms of expedition. When there's a wildlife sighting, you want to be outside and you don't want to have to run and put your pants on. You could go out in your bathrobe and see those penguins or orcas or icebergs. So this is really great. And then the Soti Spa and the gym, state-of-the-art equipment. But pictured here is the amphitheater. Again, for a small ship, we're doing a lot with well-balanced public areas. We have a nice flow with lounges on the bow and lounges on the stern and restaurants. But also we have our amphitheater for briefings, expedition briefings, and post-expedition briefings for our naturalists, and also light entertainment. And you'll see here just photos of the public areas. So in the upper left would be the spa, the upper right would be our casual grill, and our full gym. So that kind of gives you an idea of the luxury software and the expedition hardware.
Yes. No, definitely. And do you want to get to other slides, or?
I love this slide. It shows a true landing. Again, not a shore excursion, but a true expedition landing. You see that we have our Zodiac hauled out onto the ice with others waiting for us to come ashore. We'll do a hike once we get there. We have 3 different types of hikes, usually a light hike or where you remain nearby the Zodiac landing, a medium hike, and if the case allows, a longer, more strenuous hike. We do advance search of the area prior to doing our landing. So our team goes out in advance and stakes out the territory. And, you know, what's included in the pricing, many don't really understand, but we need to file permission to do these landings. So these are all done with advanced research, advanced field work, where our expedition team and our product planning team get together. But then when we're executing the itinerary, things can change, as I said. You know, if the weather conditions are too rough to make a landing, we'll deviate. And that's the other thing with small ships, is you can deviate and change up your plan and really be spontaneous. But look at this with the Zodiacs. These are actual photos taken from our team here, seeing a breached whale here, and how easy is that? Zodiac launch at the stern. Obviously, this is not Antarctica. This is probably in Alaska, but I thought it would really display how easy it is to come down the stairs. And I say, if you can get out of bed in the morning, you can get in and out of a Zodiac. It's sit and spin. So with a forearm grip assistance from our staff. But what's really beautiful is the open bridge policy. Clients want access to our officers and specialists. And so we have an open bridge policy on our ships, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, unless in rough conditions we have to close the bridge. And naturalists accompany our clients ashore as well. So here we are among the macaroni penguins and the expedition team, 25 years of experience, wonderfully taking care of all our guests on board.
Yes, so and a cruise duration, are there shore landings every day, or is it more you traveling one day, all day in the water?
Excellent question. We do strive for 2 to 3 landings a day. Again, we don't guarantee that. The duration, so if you recall, shall I go back to my face?
Oh, sure, yes.
Sorry. And so if you recall, we talked about two different itineraries. One was the classic itinerary, which was the Antarctic Peninsula, and then there was also the Austral Loop, which included South Georgia and the Falklands. So, of course, depending on the Antarctic Peninsula, the classic Antarctica, duration would be 10 days. And South Georgia, the Falklands, the duration would be 15 days. South Georgia, across from Argentina over to the Falklands, would be about a day and a half. And then we would do landings on South Georgia. We would do Grytviken and Salisbury Plain and Carcass Island and the like. But then we would go over to to the Falklands, and then from the Falklands down to South Georgia would be another day or so, and then and we'll do landings. So we try and strive for 2 to 3 landings a day.
Okay. No, that's great. That's more than I was expecting. So it really gets people out in the environment. So that's
we
great.
stagger the operation. So while there's some ashore, because remember we can land no more than 100, there'll be another 100 waiting anxiously to get off that ship. And so what we'll be doing is taking some on Zodiac cruising. Because really, it's not just ashore, it's also in the water.
Right.
You'll see the leopard seals preying on the penguins. He's hauled out on ice waiting for his kill. You'll see wonderful tabular icebergs or brash ice or calving. Really, so it's so much is going on. And then there'll be others who are probably having a late lunch or late breakfast. So it all works out nicely.
Yes. No, that's great. And so I guess now, if anyone has any questions, then just make sure you put it in the chat, and so I can ask Dale anything you want to know about Ponant or anything you want to know about Antarctica. I know we've gotten to a lot of questions, so maybe we've already answered your question, but if you have one, feel free to leave it in the comment, and I can... Okay. Well, I do actually see a question from Denise. Asks, what equipment do clients have to bring for themselves, or do you provide for all? So I know we were going to talk about that later on, about what to bring or what you should wear. So if you want to talk about that now and address the question.
I do have a visual as well, but so I can try and go back to my PowerPoint. But really, to answer your question, Denise, thank you for that. Very little for our program. It's the gear that they have to wear, not the equipment. So we're asking people to stay away from natural fibers, such as cotton and wool. Those are the devil. You want to wick away moisture and really insulate with layers. So we're asking for polypropylene, capylene, synthetic fibers, a base layer, a middle layer, and then a protective layer. So there are 3 layers that we recommend. We'll provide for a souvenir parka for you to keep, and we'll be in your cabin upon embarkation, so you're not lugging it. And if you want to donate it, that's great. If you want to take it back with you, that's great as well. And then also there's the complimentary boot rental, in other words, the loaner, that will fit everyone. So you'll need knee-high Wellington-style muck boots that you'll go ashore. So what you need to purchase would be waterproof pants, rain pants that will be worn over the boot. Don't forget, you're stepping into knee-high water. You want to keep the water from going inside your boots. So there's the rain pant, and then you'll need some undergarments, and then your middle layer, and then also maybe a fleece jacket or a half-zip polypropylene. You'll need a neck gaiter, and also you'll need sunglasses, UV polarized sunglasses, and don't forget to protect your head from the sun. The sun's very strong, so you'll need a cap as well. And gloves, waterproof gloves, definitely. Outfitters such as REI and LL Bean and Eddie Bauer. There's so many now than there were years ago when I started in Polar Expedition. Cabela's is another one, in Eastern Mountain. Does that help?
Yes, no, that definitely does help. And I know that's probably a question that gets asked a lot of time, like, because what do I wear? What do I bring? So I think that definitely helps people who are wondering that.
Don't forget binoculars. You should bring your favorite binoculars. As if you have 20 pair and there's one favorite one, but bring binoculars and also camera.
Yes, definitely.
Some bring a point and click because, something more advanced is cumbersome to handle. You'll need gloves where the fingertips come off so you can adjust your lens. I always say keep the camera close to your body inside your parka when walking. We want you also to bring a day pack so that you're walking hands-free. You always want to have one hand free for the railing on board the ship. Also, going down into the Zodiacs, you want to be able to have your arms free for assistance when given from our staff. And then also ashore. And some may want to bring a walking pole, so that's another piece of equipment, a retractable walking pole that you could pack easily that will help you with your balance. Not everyone's very well balanced on ice and snow. So binoculars, camera, and also some like to bring hand warmers and feet warmers as well. I like a nice pair of ski socks. And also you'll want your boot a little bit larger when you're doing the loaner on board the ship to accommodate your socks.
Right. Okay, well, thanks for the question, Denise. And if anyone else has another question, then comment that down below. And Dale, did you want to get to anything else in the slides?
Yeah, I do. I wanted
Okay.
to just let everyone know that we are open for sale through 2018.
Okay.
It's to everyone's advantage, really, to book in advance so that you have um, the first choice of cabins and first
Okay.
choice of departures, if you will. But first, I wanted to just go to the diagram on what to
Right.
wear and what to pack, and you see that?
Um, yes, if you could make the
Oh,
full screen um, in the
are you
presenter mode.
are you are you seeing that?
Yes, I can see that. Yes.
Great. So you see the gentleman there with a red parka. We have everyone always wears a life vest that you'll be taught how to wear for landings. The black rain pant or water pant, waterproof, worn over the boot. We have the boots that we loan as well. So you have a neck gaiter, a hat, sunglasses, and then waterproof gloves, because when you're holding on while you're on Zodiac cruising, water will splash. So you want those to be waterproof, not just water resistant, because if God forbid you had to, go into the water knee high deep, you might get your hands wet as well. And I always say bring a second pair with you in your day pack for the landing.
Okay.
How's that?
Yes. No, that's great. And is there, if you wanted to show anything else or go back to the screen?
I do. I'm just
Yeah.
having a little bit of a challenge with the technology here.
Okay. Sure.
Forgive me. I'm just seeing if the slideshow will. Okay, one moment. I am
Okay.
not able to advance it, so
Okay.
I will just continue speaking, I guess.
Okay.
I'll try one more time. We are open through 2018. We have multiple departures for the Antarctic Peninsula. We are offering currently November departures under $10,000. So that includes your air from Buenos Aires to Ushuaia, and also your parka and your boot and breakfast, lunch, dinner, open bar, gratuities,
Yes.
port fees, and
Sorry. Just
taxes.
1 second. If you could just make your screen um, larger on your end, or to end the screen share, if you don't.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Okay, that's great. So go ahead and at about the 2018.
Yeah, no, we have two holiday programs, one over Christmas, one over New Year's. That's great for families. We're seeing more and more multi-generational groups, those
Right.
grandparents and parents that really want to give the gift. Get
Mm-hmm.
it? Gifted Travel Network.
Yeah.
Want to give gift of travel to their next generation, really teach them about travel to remote parts of the world,
Mm-hmm.
and then also about nature and about the biodiversity of Antarctica, the beauty of the white continent. We're seeing a lot of anti-cruisers, those that demographic that normally would resist cruising for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But they realize there's no other way really to get there other than on our ship. And we do it with great flair. And, 85% of our clients come back after 3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
that anti-cruiser is coming back over time once they're turned on to the Ponant difference. The Ponant
Right.
difference, again, being quintessentially French, great service, great food, all-inclusive,
Mm-hmm.
but a casual luxury. I don't want to scare people off. When they hear French, they think it might be too chichi fofo, might be too luxurious. It's all about taking care of our clients on board, but also giving them an experience of a lifetime. And a trip to
Right.
Antarctica is usually once in a lifetime thing. So we
Right.
have holiday sailings as well.
Okay.
And so we have almost 23 departures. I say book as soon as you can, because we do sell out, luckily.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. So if you're listening and if this is really spoken to you, really want to go to Antarctica, then either contact your favorite Gifted Travel Network agent or reach out to us at info@giftedtravelnetwork.com, and we can get you in touch with someone to help you book with Ponant to book your cruise to Antarctica for 2018 and get ready for a life-changing experience. So I think that sounds great. Is there anything else that you wanted to get to? And then if you want to say a few words, then I can give everyone a chance to get your last minute questions in if you have any more questions that have come
Well,
up.
Yeah, I'll just close and then I'll wait for the questions. But I
Okay.
just wanted to just remind everyone that we're a small company.
Hmm.
We have 4 ships, the newest in the industry, with almost all balconies. We've been operating in Antarctica for almost 20 years. We're an IATO member. So the ships are the safest in the waters. We're under the French flag, which is very restricting and very. We're also clean ships, designated clean ships from the Bureau de Veritas. So while that fact may not drive your decision to book with us, it certainly would make you feel comfortable which once making the decision that we are clean with dynamic propulsion systems, so we're not dropping anchor. We have advanced wastewater filtration systems as well, far-reaching sonar, but also 3D ocean floor mapping for safety. So we're one of the safest fleets in the world, one of the youngest fleets, but also with almost all balconies and great service. The service is a discrete level of service, and it's in the French tradition. So we love the sea, as I said, from our provenance, remember our origin with the French merchant marine, and that's still prevalent today. We're hands-on. We're a small team here in the U.S., and we're building our brand. Many have seen us on Mighty Ships, PBS's series. So look for that. Your clients or clients may be calling out, I want that ship that I saw on Mighty Ships. It's called La Boreal, but we also have sister ships as well.
Okay.
And so you'll see more and more of us.
Okay.
And so with that, I just hope you consider us for that trip of a lifetime to the White Continent.
Yes, and I know we talked about Antarctica most of the time, but I just wanted to briefly mention that, of course, Antarctica is not the only destination. If you could, briefly go over highlight other destinations, if
Thank
Antarctica
you.
is not, their number one priority.
Thank you.
Okay.
So while Antarctica is our mainstay and one of our most popular destinations, we're also in the Arctic, as I said. So
Right.
45% of polar tourism on small ships to either the Arctic or Antarctica are on Ponant ships, and we're very proud of that. But we're also operating traditional programs, traditional cruise programs. When remember, the difference is we pull alongside and there will be buses to take you on shore excursions. So we're in the Mediterranean, but really what's popular would be Croatia, going out of Venice down the Croatian coast to Hvar and Kotor and Korčula and back to Venice. We're doing the Greek Isles. We also have the Mediterranean. And right now we have a really great incentive in Mediterranean that Gifted Travel Network will be offering as well. And that's we'll be in touch with Gifted Travel Network on the savings, an additional savings. I believe it's up to $1,400 per couple. We're also in South Africa. We're doing Ushuaia, Argentina, up to Cape Town and then over to the Seychelles. We have the Kimberley Coast in Northwest Australia, sailing from Darwin to Broome. Greenland is really very hot for us. Get it? Hot? It's really not hot, but it's cold. Iceland and Greenland are really popular, where we're doing a trilogy of programs where we follow in the footsteps of Eric the Red. So we're doing the circumnavigation of the Baffin Sea region out of Kangerlussuaq. But let's not forget Asia. And remember, I told you we touch all 7 continents. So we'll be sailing in Japan and the Vietnamese coastline, down to Borneo, down to Papua New Guinea as well. And we'll have French Polynesia as well. So wonderful, wonderful Solomon Islands. We also have Honolulu over to Rangorora, Easter Island, by way of Papeete. And then let's not forget Latin America either. We're doing the whole west coast of South America before repositioning. So our 4 ships, plus our 3-mast sailing vessel in the Caribbean and the Mediterranean, are continually looping and doing voyages around the world all through the year. And so keep us in mind. There's pretty much not a place we don't go to except for maybe the Galapagos. But lastly, next year, we're launching another 4 ships. We'll start with our first ship, La Perouse, and she'll be operating in Iceland next June. So we're launching even newer ships, which is really exciting for us. And perhaps we can do another segment on that.
Okay, no, that'd be great. And so thank you for teaching us a little more about Antarctica and a little more about Ponant today. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap it up? And if anyone has any final questions, you can still leave them below, and then or an email info@giftedtravelnetwork.com if you have any questions and you're watching this replay later. But Dale, do you have any final thoughts?
The White Continent, Antarctica, is spectacular, and I say do not let the idea of cold scare you away. The temperatures are moderate. We're not going all the way into inland. We're traveling during the summer season between November and March, where the temperatures are moderate. Depending on your interest, there's so much to offer you or your client. November with ice, December, January with the penguins and chicks, February with the whales, but there's even more photography and astronomers and history buffs, those who really enjoy the history of polar expeditions. So come and learn with us. Come and do some self-introspection out on the ice. It's really an awe-inspiring experience, and clients are looking for the best experiential travel, and really it's all about self-actualization in many cases for those that are getting up there in their years and have done almost everything in life. This is probably a bucket list item for those, although many are not liking that word these days. It's still a destination that's it's a frontier for many in many ways. So thank you all for your time today. I hope you are inspired to really consider Antarctica and, most importantly, Ponant.
Yes, so thank you so much for joining us on Travel Talk Live today. And then thank you for everyone watching live, and thank you for everyone watching on the replay. And just thank you again, Dale, for teaching us about Antarctica and Ponant. And we look forward to talking to you in the future about other destinations or Antarctica more in detail. I know we talked about a lot today, so thank you for joining us on Travel Talk Live. And again, I will not be here next week. Most likely it'll be Vanessa back in this place. So thank you for joining me on my first Travel Talk Live. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Merci.